This changes everything for the Sacramento Kings, as this team has made multiple moves, has made multiple changes to their rotation that frankly completely alters the complexion of this team. Now, Mike Brown has much more options to actually utilize to help unlock the star players, the top scorers out here on this Kings roster, and frankly, looking at these guys, these additions of Jae Crowder and obviously Isaac Jones, who's been on the team but getting more run in the most recent game, this whole team identity just looks different out there, watching them out there on the basketball court. No, Jae Crowder isn't some superstar, game-changing, all-star level talent. Isaac Jones hasn't just suddenly become, the next up-and-coming star out there in the NBA. I don't want to argue that, but what I'm saying is the impact that is felt by having some really gritty defenders out there. Guys that, regardless of age, regardless of what's going on, just can come out and be enforcers. Just bring up the energy. Not let this team get pushed around at any point. Having these guys out there in the lineup changes everything for this Kings team. And frankly, we saw it last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So we're going to break down that game, how these new guys or these new sort of changes end up looking for this Kings roster, and why I am just absolutely pumped up about, where this direction's going. Is it perfect? Is it complete? No. We still need to build up some the three-point shooting, some different avenues. And while Jae Crowder hit 2 threes tonight, he has been up and down in terms of his three-point shooting game-by-game basis. But frankly, I think this is the right steps, the right directions going on for this Kings squad. So lots of stuff to dive into in this video. But before we do, folks, again, you guys know the drill. Over 83% of our viewers haven't hit the subscribe button just yet. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on with the Sacramento Kings team, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. If you've been tuning into the news and you want to follow this Kings team, because again, it's an exciting time to jump on. We're making some moves. There's some adjustments. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We are oh so close to 1,000 subscribers. But let's dive into the madness. Let's dive into what's going on, because again, if you didn't catch it, made a video on it yesterday. The Kings ended up signing Jae Crowder to a contract, and they wasted no time, getting him out there, into the rotation, out there, gets a run. He ended up starting for this team without practicing, without, really having, just less than 24 hours after signing the contract, or, having that report to come out from Shams. And he was inserted to the starting lineup, and he just brought a whole different dimension to this Kings roster. Because, again, yes, it was only 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. The box score isn't going to eye pop the same way DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox or these guys are going to be putting in. Obviously, DeMar didn't play last night, but, these guys have these big, flashy box score numbers. But what Jae Crowder does is he's out there, and he is hustling out there on the defensive end. Even if he gets, a step or two by him at points, every single possession, he is hustling, he's getting boards, and he is just getting in the grill. Like in the fourth quarter, when he was going out there the entire game, but really, down the stretch, when he was, barking back and forth, Julius Randle, guys out there on this Minnesota Timberwolves team, the impact is felt in terms of Jae Crowder's just, impact out there on the court. And this is something that you can be utilized, because you have so many, star level talents that, are there to get buckets, are there to do different stuff. But, and again, it's not their role. I'm not expecting De'Aaron Fox, even though he did have in last night's game, De'Aaron Fox had 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He's doing some hustle work, but the lunch pail, the enforcer, the just, hey, let's lock in and put some intimidation into this team, out there in the physical sense. Jae Crowder provides that on the defensive end, crashing boards, doing different stuff. So frankly, that's a huge, just intangible addition to this Kings team, and something I'm maybe overlooked in my initial reaction to Jae Crowder coming into the squad. So that's huge, especially, for the, intensity aspect of this. And I think, because again, we'll talk about Malik Monk's just electric fourth quarter, all the star players, all this stuff. But really, the guy I want to give a little shout out to, the guy I want to give a little discussion to is Isaac Jones. Because, man, he's been on he hasn't been in the rotation here for the Kings roster so far this season. Really hasn't gotten much run, hasn't gotten much opportunities, spot minutes here and there. But last night, 21 minutes of action for Isaac Jones, and he came out, and while he was a -10, provided similar stuff to what Jae Crowder was providing to this, Kings team. Just bring in hustle, bring in intensity, bring in energy, and really in this one, right, like you can see in the box score too, ended up putting up some solid production numbers-wise as well. Off the bench for this Kings team, 21 minutes, 8 rebounds, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and just, came out and brought that level of grit, level of toughness for this Kings squad. Now, I was hopeful with all the injuries that went down, again, because you have to look at silver lining for injury situations and stuff like that. Oh, DeMar's out, Sabonis out for games. Maybe one of these deep bench guys, Orlando Robinson, one of the Joneses, any of these types of guys, you come in and find a role, find a niche, find an opportunity to really, take advantage of the extra minutes that are available. A guy like McLaughlin, no one really stepped up, and that was discouraging to me. And that was discouraging to a lot of Kings fans. Like, oh, this team isn't deep. This team doesn't have that sort of forward depth. But really, no, Isaac Jones in this one tonight with extended run, with extended opportunities, now more of a focus, out here for this Kings squad on that grit, on that intensity, obviously with Jae Crowder out here on the squad, right? Both of those guys really changed the complexion of this game, the intensity things. And I just want to give credit to Monte McNair. People are fired up about the lack of moves, how long it took for stuff. But again, he's trying to do things to address the, holes in this roster. Obviously brought in Doug McDermott, right before the season started to address the 3-point shooting. And now, Jae Crowder coming in to address the defensive intensity, the forward depth, get actual NBA players that can play, actual rotation minutes for this Kings team. So again, shout out to Monte McNair for doing different types of stuff, doing these different types of things. It's I like that he's trying some things out there, even though it's perfect. There's not a ton of options to do right now. Obviously, come trade deadline, that's when you can really get crafty with different acquisitions and different moves. But I'm happy this Jae Crowder signing. It's looking to be more impactful already than we expected initially. And basically, again, these are the role players. These are the guys that help unlock the star guys. But we can't overlook the actual star players out here on this Kings roster because, again, the big three tonight, DeMar DeRozan out, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and then, of course, Malik Monk. I want to talk about Malik Monk first because, again, 27 points in this game, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. He recovered from injury, which is great to see. Knocked down 3 of 5 from the 3-point line and 11 of 16 from the field. But really, it was down the stretch, the fourth quarter of this game, where the Sacramento Kings found their way, found their ability to just really cook up and run because the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think they really bullied the Kings in the third quarter. It's like, oh, this is getting messy. This is tough. But, you have Jae Crowder starting to go at Julius Randle, Malik Monk just going crazy, exploding down the fourth. That was something that was wicked to see. But, again, and then the stuff that Kings fans almost just take for granted here now at this point, right? Sabonis, 27, 12, and 5, right? 10 of 17 shooting from the field. Just very, very effective play out there on that front. And then, of course, De'Aaron Fox, 26 points. 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and a few turnovers, whatever. But again, those three guys, we can't, we're going to get excited. We're going to be amped up when we see, little gems come out of, different places, come out of thin air with Jae Crowder, Isaac Jones, and stuff like that. But don't want to overlook why this Kings team, why I've been preaching out here on these videos. This team needs to make some moves to win now because there is that top level, upper echelon, top tier talent out here on this Kings team. So again, the impact of those guys can't be understated. And then, the rest of the roster, Keon Ellis continues to be, a solid piece out there in the starting lineup, right? With Keon Ellis, I'm sure DeMar DeRozan will get that start, depending on him I don't know who will get moved to the bench, Keon or Jae Crowder, once DeMar DeRozan is back. But again, Keon Ellis and Jae Crowder out there on the wings, being able to play defense. It's a huge positive, right? And like you saw, it had an impact out there on Anthony Edwards, who went 9 of 24 from the field. Still 29 points, still a phenomenal basketball player, but they did a good job at really hurting the efficiency of any guys out there on that, Minnesota Timberwolves team, especially the wing players. So again, great stuff there. Out there on wing defense, and then the one guy, and he did have a +9 for the game, which is encouraging, but Kevin Huerter does need to start knocking down shots. Keegan Murray, obviously we know he does the little things out there on the court, and we have more guys that are able to, execute on-ball defense and stuff. But Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray are two guys I'd like to see knock down more threes. We've been saying it the entire year. That's still a storyline, but now with these different players, there are a couple ways that they can win some games without those guys having to be super efficient from behind the 3-point arc. But overall, again, a very, very positive game out here in the Jae Crowder era. I'm not saying this is the only thing that needs to be done. I'm sure, on certain nights, Jae Crowder is going to go 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. Some people will be frustrated, but where this changes this Kings team, where this has the impact is in terms of the forward depth, the defensive grit, and frankly fills a serious hole the Kings have had, over the start of the season. So let me know what you guys think about this acquisition, about this new look Kings team in the comment section down below. You guys have best take this far. Again, very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're part of that 83% and you made it this far in the video, 9 minutes, 20 seconds out here in the vid, spent that time together, hit that subscribe button. It's free. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.